All right, good people around the world from London to the Bay. What's going on? Show number 199, the Matt and Todd Show. We are in the house. We are live, and we are so glad that you stopped by to hang out with us on show number 199. How about it, Dean?
One more, 200, man. That's amazing.
We got to do something big next week.
Yeah, we got, I don't know what, but we're going to figure it out.
Thank all you guys for coming by and hanging out with us. The Best Dang Sports Show going today. You can find us everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, iHeartRadio, and, of course, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Live Twitter feed, guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hope I get some LSU fans to come in and chat it up with us a little bit. Today, I'm going to be talking about LSU Tigers, seeing how far they're going to go. Hey, there was West champs last year. Let's see how far they're going to go this year. Dane, what you got going on today?
I'm going to break down the Crimson Tide of Alabama and talk about their chances of maybe winning the West and maybe the whole SEC. And I'm also going to talk about another gambling scandal, this one at Iowa State.
Man.
And this one's a little worse than the other ones we've heard about. And
without further ado, the drum roll, the man, the myth, the legend, Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show and FYN Sports Reporter, Benton Birge. What is up? What are you going to share for us tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to try to add in a little information about the Georgia Bulldogs and give their season preview. We'll look over their schedule, which there's been a lot of scrutiny about.
Well, it may have a little tater water to it, but we'll talk about it. Y'all come back, hang out with us, all right? All right, here we are back live in the house. Again, thank you guys for stopping by and making us a part of your Sunday evening. Roll in here to the comments. Jeff Anderson, looks like he had 11th place there. No man didn't qualify for the finals. He had an event he had to get to, and he didn't think he was going to make it, but he did. Hot Wheels, what's going on, Zach? Talked to him this morning. We chopped up a little football. And the big-time guys, thank you, Kevin, for coming out and hanging with us. The youth pastor over at Pine Grove Church over here.
Kevin Daniel.
Our local church here. Todd knows him. You know him pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Kevin, I taught him in school.
Yeah, he's just genuinely a good guy. I like Kevin, hanging out, shooting the breeze with him.
I know him pretty well, too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We joke about Penville School a lot, which is no longer a school. But we joke about it.
Guys, fall camp is here. I can't believe it. I'm fired up about it. Also, the pads are going to be coming on as of this week and stuff. We got plenty of stuff going on here locally. I wanted to give a shout out first to Warrior Gym. Hey, give them a holler. If you're looking for a home that you need to get ready, fall's coming, get a head start on the Christmas and the Thanksgiving turkey stuff. Just go on over to Warrior Gym, give him a call, 630-4333. You can call John. Go by there. Can't scan the QR code on the door. You can become a member just that easy. And their rates are something, as low as like $125 a year, $150 a year. So, I mean, there's no excuse not to be over there working out. So with that being said, also Cherokee Eye Clinic, JR, April McKenzie, we appreciate them for always being a sponsor. And, of course, Mobley Concrete, Jerry and company, they're out working hard, and his son is killing them. I stopped by and seen them one day. They were out on the job. It's hot, man. So hats off to all the guys out there killing it in the sun. We need people like that. Also, some more local news. Congrats to Jacob Cornejo, Cherokee County's tailback. He'll be a senior this year. He's going to be the cover guy on FNN Networks magazine.
Wow. Well deserved.
He's going to make the cover, yes.
Absolutely.
He's going to we look for him to have another good year. And also, Landon Caldwell, seen some pictures on him. His mom, he graduated Cherokee County, played basketball. I know his mom and dad. And he's in the Air Force, and he's coming out, and he's got his old onion peeled, and it looks weird on him. So,
he had a nice head of hair there.
He did have some great hair. Yeah. All that's gone now. So he's doing okay. He said he's learning a lot of new things, having a good time. So those are always a good thing. And shout out to our guys over at the Smorgasbord Restaurant in Cedar Bluff over there, Brad and Brosh. Go there and find them steak, shrimp plates, and the homemade pies and cakes and the smash burgers, everything over there is just good.
Smash burgers.
Yeah, from the chicken fingers to the mashed potatoes are good. I mean, everything
I like
is
it.
good.
I've always got good food there.
So that's a little bit of local kick around. Dean, tell us about the 366 gambling affairs of this Decker, Dekker,
Hunter
Iowa
Decker.
State.
He's suspended for the year.
2021 is when this happened, right?
Right.
Okay.
Said he made 300. Now, mind y'all, these bets average $8 a bet.
Oh, good Christ.
I know. I was completely for all this until I started reading a little more. But he did bet $2,800 with DraftKings, 366 bets, and a lot of it involved Iowa State. Now, I'm not going to say it involved Iowa State football games that he was playing in.
Okay.
Because obviously, if he did that, he'd never play again. He would be like Pete Rose.
Well, I think that's what they're.
Well, they're trying to allude to it.
Is he already graduated? Or no? He was. He would have been a senior, right?
Junior.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's gone for 12 games, 366 bets at $27.99. Well, and the stand they've taken on this is, and he's not the only one mixed up in this. He's just the biggest name.
Wait a minute. $27.
$2,700.
Oh, well, I mean, still though.
It averages out to around $8 a bet.
Okay.
That's what he averaged. I mean,
you
I'll be honest, it
team.
looks like he was trying to just have a little fun with it.
Well, you can't bet on your own team. That's
No.
But if you bet on your team to win, like Pete Rose did, I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah, no. Well, they don't think that he threw any ball games.
No.
Yes, he did bet on Iowa State, but what I meant to say a minute ago to you and Benton was there's not been any allegations of him taking plays off, shaving points, throwing games, stuff like that. But he's missed his whole year.
Well,
over this. Benton, how do you feel about this?
I mean, the NFL's cracking down. College is going to crack down now. I think if you're going to play in the sport, wait until you're done before you bet on it.
Well, how about they draft? Is there any way they could? Which he did it under an assumed name, so it wasn't like they knew who it was.
Yeah.
But should DraftKings and FanDuel have any backlash from this, or are they in the wrong at all?
No, they're just running the site. I mean, they're not.
Yeah, they're just right. Yeah, they have no way of knowing. I mean,
no.
And he did get in it. He was deceptive.
Yeah.
To do this,
making a fake account. So.
Right. I don't know how they caught him. That'd be very interesting.
These bots and all that computer stuff now you got going on.
But he's done. He's done for all 12 games.
I hate that for him, but they got to make an example, and that's just how it is. Same as Khaki Pants. They hit him with 4 games. It wasn't for what he done. It's just for the fact that he misled the NCAA. I mean,
yeah, he did.
That's all it's really about.
They said he wouldn't. Just wasn't forthcoming at all.
Yeah. Into some recruiting news, Birge, tell us about some news there from Georgia today. I shared something with you earlier, just breaking news, just about an hour ago.
Yeah, you flipped it over there. Big time running back.
Yeah.
Really?
From out west, I believe.
Yeah.
Nate Frazier. I watched
Frazier.
Some video on him. He's like a high 4-star, low 5-star guy. Some people have him as the number 1 running back in the 2024 class. So, we'll wait and see how that goes. But I was impressed with the video, man. Quick feet, physical, hard to tackle, good balance. Seen him put his hand down on the ground a couple times and come back up. And then when he gets in the open, he's just going by people. So
California.
Yeah, I believe so.
Nate Frazier, Dogs pick up a good recruit today. Also in recruiting, your Florida State Seminoles, which we've assumed to be a top 5 or 6 team for sure, probably.
Yeah,
they pick up a surprise in KJ Bolden. A lot of people thought he was kind of locked on Bama. A lot of people are Georgia. I mean, Georgia people thought he's locked on Georgia. He plays at Buford, of course.
Does everybody play for Buford?
And why he didn't go to Georgia? I mean, his quarterback, Raiola, is there. So he's committed to, he's going to go. go play
FSU.
with the Seminoles. So that's kind of interesting that Coach Knowles, they're doing a good job down there. So the Seminoles are rocking right along, and they're going to open up the season. We'll talk about that a little more too, about some opening games the end of August, 1st of September. So that's pretty interesting.
I saw the big flip on that Perry Thompson too.
Yeah.
Going to Auburn.
Now his comments.
Yeah, I saw that where he said Freeze developed. I mean, Freeze has had some good wide receivers.
Sure, we don't disagree, but it's not even the same as Alabama's. It's
Right.
not even close. It's 6 times more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Devontae Smith, Waddle.
Where do you want to start from Julio Jones to Mays to Smiths and Waddles?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who else?
Right. You got you got Cooper.
Yeah.
Ruggs.
Yep. Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been
the list is very long. So his comment to say that either he's trolling and being funny, Birge, or surely or somebody may have slipped him $1,000 to say it. I don't know.
I think what he meant, and I'm it sounds like I'm taking up for him a little bit here. He kind of probably said it wrong, but Ole Miss's leading receiver just usually has ridiculous numbers. And I think he meant I won't go there because they're, and Alabama will mix it up more. They'll have 3 or 4 receivers with a ton of catches, whereas Ole Miss will have one guy.
That's all they got.
When Freeze was there.
Yeah, but that's all they had was one guy. When Bama, we had 2 or 3 guys, even the James guy, and Smitty still won the Heisman. And there's no receiver ever won a Heisman at Auburn or at Ole Miss.
He might have just worded it wrong. I don't think Freeze develops receivers better than Saban.
No, that don't make no sense. Well, let's just dig right in here to this. I got to say it, and everybody's talking about it. And I really didn't really want to talk about it. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. We can all give our opinions. Utah and Arizona State voted in by the Big 12, Oregon and Washington to the Big 10 with the big, they'll play with Nebraska and, of course, Ohio State and Michigan. So these are developing stories and things that are happening. What are you guys thinking about that?
Well, I talked to you about last night, and there's 4 teams left in the Pac-12 now. 4 teams.
Yeah.
And I had told Matt that, I figure Fresno and San Diego State and all them will come over. Matt says they're just going to that Mountain West Conference that consists of BYU, well, not BYU,
but
Hawaii, Fresno, San Diego State, Nevada, Boise. Some of them might be a good conference, but like Matt said last night, I don't think it'll make a difference.
Well, I mean, who's going? It's about TV deals.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to watch them?
Well, let's just see who the conference would be if they do that.
Who's going to watch? I mean, the Pac-12's in trouble. Okay, who's going to watch Cal, Oregon State, Stanford, and Washington State?
I think they're past that point at this point. I mean, the Pac-12 is done. If you ask me,
yes.
I don't see anything that they could add to make it even worth any kind of media deal. So you can forget that, because that's what it's about these days. It's about the money from the media deal.
So, guys, here's your conference now. If they do that, it'll be Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, Stanford, Boise, Air Force, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado State, New Mexico, Fresno, San Jose, San Diego, UNLV, Hawaii, and Nevada. Nah. So we're probably, I told Matt last night, I figure Stanford or Boise will win that conference every year. I mean, obviously not every year, but most of the time. But I don't know. Will any of them teams ever get in this playoff? I mean, possibly. Well, they could, I guess, couldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said the magic word to me, playoff. The playoffs got these automatic bids. You totally have to throw that out now. I mean, do you not?
Okay, that's a good point. Let me speak on that a minute.
Go for it.
Y'all, I think I sent it to both of you. Did you read that spiel that they're going to change? They had a meeting Friday.
Yes, they're talking about it already. A 7-5. Why don't they just leave it alone?
The way I understood it, and somebody can correct me,
or a 5-7.
The power, they're no longer going to do a power, no longer from a power 5, but it was going to be automatic bid for the other 6, because the power 5 conference winners would get an automatic bid. We got it.
Yep.
Well, now they're going to change that. Well, I can pull
talking
it.
about changing.
I got it right here on on Messenger. I sent it to you a while ago. Let me go back on.
I just don't understand after all they've done. Yeah, they're going to take 5 conference winners, right?
Yes. Well, it's going to be to the automatic bidded team. And this is right here is where it kind of says contact. It's about the Pac-12 because they're not going to bring any type of depth or anything to this playoff because they don't have a conference anymore.
No, 4 teams.
So y'all can kind of read this. Let me clear some of this garbage.
That's back to area play, isn't it, Benton?
Yeah.
You remember when they had the 4-team areas?
Okay, here it is right here.
Let
me pull this up and make it easy for people watching. Oh, come on. Work with me, not against me. It's kind of this right here, what I've highlighted here. And you guys, y'all can read it at home. I'll erase it now. You get the idea there. Pretty much we're just going to say that one of the most popular seems to be, this is their opinion, it's what they talked about Friday, changing the 6 automatic bids to 5, that leaving 7 at-large bids for the remaining spots. Okay, so don't be surprised to see major changes coming in all this. And it kind of just, he rambles on here for a minute, but Dallinger's the one that kind of broke this. 2 college football commissioners tell Yahoo Sports that the 6+6 expansion format should be re-examined. We ain't even done
it.
So starting next year, the 6 highest ranked conference champs get the at-large spots, and the next 6 highest ranked teams get an at-large spot.
What do you think about this new proposal? Are you okay with the first one, or do you like the new one better? So Pac-12 has caused this, right?
Yeah. Well, it's because of what they've done there. They don't offer anything. There's nothing that I just showed you that,
right.
The conference, the teams in it, there's nothing.
No. I mean,
what do they have to offer to make money? It's about money.
There would be 16 teams in it, but I mean, it may be Fresno. Fresno wins it and has to play Michigan. I mean, they can't play with them.
Well, it's just going to
go ahead.
It's going to add Pac-12 to where, because of their conference championship, if that's what you want to call it, there's no way that you want to have to add them. So they're going to be like a non-Power 5 team. So they're trying to leave a spot where they could maybe get in.
A non-power. Is there any chance, and I'm asking both of y'all, that those 4, Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, and Washington State, anybody will take them on? Big 12, Pac-10, Big 10, anybody?
I don't know.
Big 12.
They're not going to sit there alone. They're going somewhere.
They've got to.
Yeah.
Like Matt said, they could join that Mountain West, but how fair is that to Boise and all that bunch? Because they're Power 5 schools. Boise and them are not.
Well, and I don't know. Now, I do know from studying into TCU about a situation about them playing in a playoff or doing something and getting into their conference. You have to be a research facility, okay? And the problem was TCU, they did not have a research. You have to have a research facility to be considered a certain echelon of football. Like JSU has to have certain buildings and have to be available for science. You have to have a certain science and math number of buildings,
right,
to have certain numbers of students to be a part of Conference USA as well.
Right.
So the same thing with TCU, they had to have that. So I'm curious to know if these other teams want to go, like you were saying, well, what if they want to go to the Pac-12 and let's build it up instead of building up the Mountain West?
Right.
We can scratch the Mountain West and bring those San Diego States and those teams, bring them to the Pac-12. But
what you're saying is they're not going to qualify.
Yeah.
You don't have
what do you do, Birge? You have a special meeting? Your governor of California is on the board out there at UCLA. He's a genius. He's grown California by leaps and bounds. He's incredibly intelligent. So,
I've
put people like that over.
It sounds to me like, from hearing both of you speak, that those 4 teams need to find them a conference to get in.
That's what it sounds like to me. That's the way I speak it.
I mean, because like Matt said, if you're going to bring all them to Pac-12, half of them's not going to qualify. Plus, they're playing out of their league. And but you put them in the Mountain West, it's the same thing. I don't know. Could all four of them, two of them can go in the Big 12 and two in the Big 10, I guess. I don't
See,
know.
they couldn't go to the Pac-12, and I've read this before. You can't.
They can't.
But they'll get fined.
Okay.
They're $35 million a school if they break out of the Mountain West. So
That's just a drop in the bucket.
yeah, that's
$35 million. Yeah, you can't go if you're gonna get a $35 million fine.
Well, those schools can't afford that.
Yeah, and the problem is if you paid that, you don't know when you're going to make that back up because you can't trust anybody in the Pac-12 to get any kind of deal done.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. Those teams are going to have to move on. I would think somebody would take Stanford and Washington State and Oregon State. I've never known Cal to be great, but I still see somebody taking them.
Now we're just thinking basketball. So is there a possibility, that Cal's good at basketball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have had some good teams.
So when they try to make these runs and these scenarios compared with all the sports, NFL, you can't compare NFL to college because college has other sports and Olympic sports. NFL is only football, so that's out. Okay, we can't do this. It's apples and tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even apples and oranges, so that's out. So the Pac-12's got to figure out a way to try to drive some money. Now, Apple, have you heard that, Birge, that Apple's made a conclusion, a declaration to the Pac-12?
You talking about broadcasting their games?
Yeah.
I just don't see that being valuable.
Well, here's
somewhat valuable, I guess, but
here's the deal with that. Here's what they're doing. Pac-12's been offered through Apple. You can buy a spot in the Apple Plus. I don't know if they're going to make a Pac-12 app inside of Apple Plus that you have to then subscribe to. But from what I'm told, the Pac-12 will have to have, listen now, 32 million subscribers before they reach a percentage of payout. And then there'll be a growing over a period of time. It's not going to be a one-time payment for the Pac-12 to make some money. It's going to be a overestimated amount of years. So how are you going to get 32 million? You don't even have enough people now to come out to the games. You can't make money now.
I thought you were going to say $32 million. I'm like, they can do that.
No, it's 32 million. They have to have 32 million. Like we have to have 1,000 subscribers before we get paid for YouTube.
They got to have 32 million.
Yes.
With those four teams.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, that's not going to happen.
No. Why would it? Who?
I mean, it could have happened if you still had the USCs and Oregons, but
yeah,
you just don't have look at where these towns are. I mean, look at where,
Oregon State and Corvallis.
Yeah.
Oregon.
Nothing.
Well, I don't even know where Washington State is. I mean, I hate to see there not be a Pac-12 anymore, but I don't see how there can be. Nobody's willing to leave their conference and go join the Pac-12, are they?
No.
I mean, it's Alabama and Auburn going, hey, let's just go on out there.
Bama's headed out.
Georgia, too. Let's go.
Bama and Georgia, we're going together. We're going to run the Big 12. We'll win the conference title out there every year.
That sounds like a mess, but I think the NCAA could come up with something. I mean, never mind.
They need money. They need about $500 million, I guess.
So the only answer is join another conference if they'll take you.
Yeah, because you got to have money to run a school, right? I mean, that's, and you got to have money to run y'all both, Benton works at a corporation. I work at a big corporation. You work at a school.
Uh-huh.
It takes money to make those things operate. And if, which one are you at, Bent? You at Roper?
I am.
Okay, you're at Roper. I'm at Old Bostrom CVG plant in Piedmont. It takes money to make those things run. So just thinking about it as a business, let's don't talk about it as sports. What are you supposed to do? I mean, if Old Bostrom, we don't have money to buy covers for the big truck. They make big truck seats for, semis. if they don't have the money to buy materials or they can't get materials, this has happened. If they can't get material, guess what? The workers go home. Yep. You don't get paid because you don't have material. Birge, tell them about during COVID about y'all getting material. If you can't get stuff for the gloves, the workers go home.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we've had a couple different issues, but I'll give them credit, man. They drove it. We worked straight through, but there were a lot of places that wasn't as fortunate as we.
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
And COVID hurt it. COVID hurt the Pac-12 because why? They
shut her down.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Same line of work. If we don't have material, we go home. If Birds don't have material, we go home.
What did they play that year? 6, 5?
They didn't play a season. The Big Ten.
No, that was the Big Ten that played 6. They didn't play nothing.
No.
Yeah.
They stood it out.
Yeah.
With a deadly COVID virus, you may be a death and they may get it out. Just stay in your houses. And then he saw in the streets with no mask, your governor out there. So people want to know why. Well, what's the problem? Why? Well, what do you mean politics played a role in? Because he shut the place down. Mm-hmm. And he's a hypocrite. And then other people, Pelosi, we have to stay in our houses. People's gonna die. And then there's a security camera, her doing what? Remember, she's getting her hair done. Mm-hmm. No mask in her salon. This is bullcrap. That's why politics. So this is all upon you guys, all you West Coast and some people that did not vote for this. I'm sorry this is happening to your football because there's some somebodies, thousands of somebodies that are Oregon State fans. Hey, go Beavers.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, we're fired up about the football season. They thought about the same things how we think about them, and they're thinking.
Yeah, we're going to be very good. But how's that going to hurt their psyche knowing they don't even have a conference anymore?
What are we going to do? We got a 4-team conference.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? This is terrible for football. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Florida, Tennessee are leaving the SEC.
How are they going to get games? Who's Oregon State going to play next year?
They'll all be out of conference games.
Every one of them. Every one of them. I mean, there's 3 conference games. You can't lose one. I don't know. That sounds like a mess. Do y'all see them coming and joining the Big 12 if there is a deal? They'll have to.
The Big 10.
2 Big 10, 2 Big 12.
Yeah.
They're going somewhere.
But now, again, I'll bring this up. But you need some tissue or something? Is that him sneezing?
No. Yeah, that's him sneezing.
Really?
I'm just doing like that.
Oh, okay. You need some tissue or something? So no. I mean, it's loud. I mean, you can hear it in the.
No.
Okay. I guess they're just finding another place to play.
I guess they'll have to.
What else are they going to do? Play each other? Who's the Pac-12 champ? Well, it's Cal. Oh, who'd they play? Well, they beat Stanford. Now, and here's another thing on that list. It's those teams hadn't spent a lot of money on football.
No, they don't. I mean, they don't. Cal never does. And, I mean, Stanford maybe. Stanford was strong there for a long time.
Yeah. Toby Gerhardt.
But
he was there. He was up for Heisman talk.
Yeah, and Luck, Andrew Luck, they were real good right through there. And but I don't know that they were ever. I don't know if they would ever made a top 4 playoff. They top 10. They were a top 10 team.
But there's others. There are other sports, and here's something that you brought up back last year when we talked about this. At some point, travel is going to be a problem. I mean,
what's going to make a difference at some point?
Football's not going to be a big deal.
But basketball?
They're going to be playing multiple games. They'll be playing multiple games on one trip, like in.
Well, you got to play. They'll have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Washington in the Big 10, you've got to go play Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State in 3 consecutive weeks. You can't come back home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll have to put them up somewhere in a hotel because those kind of track.
Yeah.
Doing pole vaulting and hurling and the 100 and the 200 meter volleyball.
Yeah. Well, I meant for basketball.
Rowing. That stuff's, it's not like football. You don't just show up and play a game and then we'll go to the house.
No.
You bring out your jetliner, you land on the plane, you get off, you get on the bus, you unload your crap, you get there 4 hours early, you do walkthroughs, you have a little snack, and you play a game, and then you go,
Yeah.
Volleyball, or
Well, basketball.
rowing.
They'll have to do basketball where you you just go on a road trip like they do in pro baseball. I mean, they'll have to.
I can't wait to see USC and Minnesota playing hockey.
Yeah, there you go. I'm fired
I
up
don't
about
think
that.
USC is going to get in on that.
Lacrosse. Honestly, now lacrosse, he's got a pretty good lacrosse team up north. They do.
Lacrosse.
That's kind of some local tidbits again. Appreciate everybody for coming by and hanging out with us. Those are our kind of roundtable topics. I mean, I want to talk about it a little bit, but I don't know, man. It's not going to affect us hardly at all. We're not going to add any of those 4 teams here to our conference, but everybody's talking about it. I won't say I don't care, but I don't. The resolution is money,
Yep.
and I can tell you why. I've already said why this has happened, and I don't even want to do it again because if that word comes up, the virus and the jab and videos start getting struck when those words are picked up on podcasts now. Yeah. They do, and I don't want to get struck for.
Well, I mean,
politicians. That's what they do. They play games. They play politics. And it's affected. This has to do. Is it directly affected? Yeah. But it has to do with what's going on out there. No money. They shut down football. What did you think was going to happen? If Birge goes in tomorrow and his plant supervisor says, we're going to close it down rest of the year.
Yeah.
Well, what's he going to do till January? He's got to go find another job.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll have to.
What are you going to do if you go to Chattanooga tomorrow and they say, we're closing school down. We're going to consolidate them into Trine, come back in January.
Well, there'll be a ride up there first. It'll be World War III. But, yeah, I mean, you got to do something. You got to do something. I mean, I remember the guys up in Kentucky when they used to get laid off from the mills. Or
coal mines.
Strikes. They'd have to go work somewhere.
Yeah, go down to Joe's Poo Hall and sweep the floor. I don't know. You got to do something.
6-month strike.
Yeah, because we're a union. Union strikes are serious.
Very.
UPS just went in. Now they're making like $312 an hour now.
Let's go to the UPS.
I'm serious. Think about it.
Can we do 3 hours? We can split it 3 hours a day each of us.
Yeah, Teddy works down there. I guess. He works there in the morning and coaches every day after he works from there from 4 in the morning.
It takes a long time to get full time, but
yeah,
even their part time. Makes good.
25 hours a week for $30 an hour. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like $15 an hour for 60 hours a week. That's good money.
Yeah. Oh, UPS is a great place to work.
You can bring home $700 a week. Piddling. I can piddle for $700 a week. Birge. Could you piddle for $700 a week?
I don't know. I might be walking.
Yeah, gas is pretty high.
Oh my God, it's killing me, man.
It just keeps going up.
Well, we have went through everything, and show number 199. We're going to kick into college football stuff now. We have got LSU, we have got Bama, we have got Georgia, and we're going to get into it. We'll let's rock paper scissors. Who wants to go?
I'm excited about all of it.
Right, we're down 3. Rock paper scissors shoes. 1, 2, 3, go. I can't see your hand, Birge.
I'm out.
He's out. We're both got shoes. All right, ready? Me and Dean. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper covers rock. I'll go first.
All right.
I guess that's the best way to do it. I don't know.
Well, we won't hear about LSU first anyway.
Well, don't be surprised. Tim Brando said it earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, number 4, didn't he?
Yeah, he had them making it to the playoffs. So they got a lot of pieces coming back, guys. Of course, we know about Jaden Daniels. He threw for over 3,000, rushed for nearly 1,000. Perkins, big name on defense. He's going to be back. The Lacey is going to be a wide receiver name to watch for. Neighbor's kid.
He's good.
1,000 yards receiving. He's a junior. He'll probably be gone, though. He ain't going to stick around.
No, I wouldn't think.
Tight end, Taylor. I'm just going to run through some names. These are people that you know. The running back, Kane. Noah Kane, 5'10", 220 pounds, senior, star. 400 yards. He had only 400 yards last year. Logan Diggs, he's going to be a lookout player. Watch for him to be running the ball more. Now, they're going to replace on defense Gay. He was the big defensive end that had all the tackles. He was averaging like 3 or 4 a game.
Yeah, at the end, that's pretty good.
He plays at the Texans now, and then the Cardinals picked up Ojolera, the linebacker that was so good. So, defensive coach Matt House, Defensive end guy, Jones, 6'6", 260 pounds. He's a junior. And, of course, everybody knows the D-line guy, Wingo. There's always been a Wingo down there. Number 99, Jordan Jefferson. I know it sounds – it's not.
It's not the receiver.
No,
not the quarterback, I mean.
No, this is a senior, 6'3", 305 pounds.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then also Lee and Shand is a good juniors to be watching out for. A kid that wears number 0, Mason Smith, sophomore, 6'6", 310.
That's big.
Penn the third, he's a junior at linebacker. Another linebacker, Spagetta, Speghtts, Spaghettis. He's a senior.
That's Spaghettis.
83 tackles.
Pretty good.
Only year last year. Safeties. Brooke, he's a senior, another safety. The Sam kid, he's also a senior. Wiggins is a sophomore. He's going to be up and coming player to look out for. Wide receivers, from what Coach Kelly said, their fall camp is open. He said that the offense looks ahead of the defense. That's usually not the case.
No, their defense is usually pretty strong.
Usually defenses are ahead of offense because it's just,
it's easier.
Well, yeah, defensively, you just kind of go out there and cover the ball. Offense takes a while to catch up to the play.
Right, get rhythm.
But this Daniels group and this neighbor's kid, some freshman names on the list. Wide receiver Sampson, 6'4". He's going to wear number 6. This Parker kid, he's number 12. He's a freshman star, 5'11", 190. He's from Allen, Texas. And then Jalen Brown from Miami, Florida. He's a freshman, going to wear number 14. Aaron Anderson from New Orleans. It's going to be another slot style receiver. And then Watkins is a kid they picked up for 24 class. In the 100 meter, he run it in a 10.3.
Pretty quick.
Texas track star. He's an elite player. Right now, LSU has 22 commits. They're number 9 right now as far as the 24 class. McBride and Bates have came in, and they're going to be added to the defensive backs. And Colin Simpson, he's supposed to decide next week. And again, I'll mention defensive coach, Matt House. Now, we all know what he can do, and you see what they got back. Some of these names and stuff you went through, guys, there's a lot of juniors and seniors. Now, they may have to play. They may be a freshman or two that may have to play on the defensive line. But they're 4 or 5 stars. They're from Louisiana. The boys grew up when they was 6 months old. They was eating gumbo, dipping their own bowls. They're 6'6", 350 pounds on average.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Okay, it's the typical LSU. They breed monsters down there in the swamp.
Yeah. I think I don't think Kelly. I think Kelly does a good job. I think he's better than Orgeron. I don't know that he's one of the elite coaches, but I think he's better than Orgeron.
Do you like him, Birge? I mean, from what
he put a little sour taste in my mouth with his fake redneck accent and all that when he tried to come in. But and I never, I'm always drew a little hate because I could care less about Notre Dame. But he seemed to do a good job last year, and they had a rough start and overcame it. So I think he's a pretty good coach.
I've heard that he is, and I think it makes a difference. I think it makes him a better coach. I hear he's real hard on his assistants. Like he really, really holds them accountable, like big time. Why is this guy not getting any better? Do we have a problem here? I mean, more so than even Nick Saban would be. I've heard that more than once about Brian Kelly. He chews them out a lot.
He's holding his guys accountable, and that's,
I'm sure most coaches do, but I think he may be a little extra with it.
That's, expected. Honestly, I feel this is going to be a turning year for him. Look, if this guy can come in and win, if he wins the West again, or if he even, if the only game they lose is, say, to Bama, because they went on a little sputter there toward the end of the season, remember?
Yeah, they lost to A&M.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost that game. Now, they wound up in the SEC title game, and Georgia just kind of squeezed them to death. They did. But if Kelly goes, even if they finish second in the West, I'm going to call him not a bust. He's not a bust.
No. And they did improve last year. They lost the first game by a point to Florida State and, come back and beat Alabama. But I think there was a little bit of letdown with Tennessee beat them bad. What they ended up losing? They ended up losing 4. They lost to Tennessee, Florida State, and A&M was just really that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, they lost 2 or 3 games, and then Georgia beat them. So
yeah, and then they ended up winning their bowl game, but they did improve as the season went on. But I think a lot of people, the A&M stuff, that bothered a lot of people.
Man, there's a lot of juniors and seniors. I'm just looking at this paper again and again. Guys, there's a lot of juniors and seniors on this list.
Well, that's a good question. Okay, last year they were not supposed to be good, right?
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Yeah,
they weren't supposed to.
Well, it's his first year.
Well, then this year they're supposed to be. There's more pressure on them. Do they do as well? What's their schedule look like? It's
same as it, I mean, they're going to have to play the typical
Ole
Ole
Miss,
Misses
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Who they play? Who's their out of conference? They play FSU.
Yeah, September
Yes.
2nd, they play Florida State.
That's huge. That's huge to start out.
Well,
Then
yeah,
they have- Then they have Grambling State at Mississippi State, Arkansas at Ole Miss, at Missouri, at home against Auburn. They have Army, then at Alabama, at home against Florida, Georgia State, and then at home against Texas A&M the end of the year.
Well, I will say that their out of conference games are all decent. Georgia State's pretty good. Army's not bad. I'm not saying Army's going to beat them.
Well, they're hard to prep for.
But they're not. That's not playing. That's not like playing Northwest Georgia up there, junior college, or what's the one where they Coosa Valley?
Yeah, Coosa Valley Tech.
Yeah, Coosa Valley Tech. Army's tough. Georgia State's tough.
Welding class, y'all are in next. Let's go. Third quarter after halftime.
Auto
Welding class.
mechanics.
Cosmetology, you'll finish in the fourth quarter.
Auto mechanics.
There's some big boys in the auto mechanic class now.
I'm going to say, though, from listening there, I think they drop a couple. They play at Alabama. Where they play FSU?
It's on a neutral side.
Camping World in
Yeah.
Orlando.
See, I mean, FSU's loaded. I got them dropping a couple. I've changed my mind. I'm not being a homer, but I've changed my mind. I don't think they win the West.
Yeah, I don't.
I do think they do good. I think they go 9-3, 10-2.
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
yeah, I think in a 10-win season, when did a 9 or 10-win season become bad?
No. It's
Alabama's burnt so many football programs. They've burnt football because it's either national title or bust. I mean,
Right.
if we can't win a title and go just absolutely undefeated, it's a terrible season. We're going to burn the town. Come on, man.
So basically, I guess we're saying LSU actually improves. They went 10-4 last year. So I think they'll go. I'll predict them to go 10-2.
This group of defense, and with Jaden Daniels at the helm, and the time that they play Alabama, the
Yeah.
part of the year it's at Alabama.
It's
I
at
know.
Alabama though. So
Man, I'm telling you that.
I mean, you're a 1-point win at home over them, and I don't
But
know,
you had
just-
Bryce Young,
Well, that's true too.
and they don't have Bryce Young this year.
Well, when I talk about Alabama, you'll understand why
Now, Bama's got the best defensive backfield in the nation.
they've got a great defense.
Yeah.
That's why I'm more sold on them.
They ain't nobody going. I don't see anybody scoring 40.
No.
Nobody's getting 36 on. I just don't see it. I might be wrong. They may come in and get smoked and lose 3 or 4 games, but
I think 10-2, 9-3 at where 9-3, 10-2. I mean, we pick a range. I do not think they'll go 8-4. I do not think they'll drop 4 ball games.
Daniels, Neighbors, Thomas, Kane in the backfield, and this Diggs kid, he's a new kid. That's the offensive names you're going to hear a lot. And then you got this big Taylor kid. He's 6'5", 245, a sophomore type blocking tight end.
See, I don't.
That Perkins guy, this Perkins guy's a freak, man. These guys are from Louisiana, and all these other guys here, from the Penn guy to Brooks and Sam and the Wiggins kid, maybe some new guys you're going to see on scene. But Wingo and Gullery,
Gonna be good, huh? I don't.
Look, their offense, the offensive lines that they're going to be matched up against, they better be ready. Look at the weight: 305, 315, 312, 317. God, they averaged 310 on the front 3 of the defensive line.
they're going to have a breakout running back, or they're going to have a Leonard Fournette type?
No, he's a generational kind of guy.
Okay.
There's not nobody in the country, nobody in the SEC is going besides maybe.
I will say this.
Besides Junkins, he may be that type of. He may be a 2,000, 3,000 yard back this year.
If one of those backs end up just being excellent with Daniel's ability, they might only lose a ball game.
And the coaching, man, this is going to be a big tale. Again, I will get off this train here. Coach Kelly has got a big year coming from him at LSU. If he can just finish, if he finishes second in the West, that's a check by his name. I'm going to tell you, that's going to say, hey, you're going to have to say, hey, he's a good coach because he can prove that he can win with talent.
Well, I do think they'll finish second.
He can win with talent. It's not like being at Notre Dame. He always said, hey, if you ever let me get down there in the South where the players are, and he's proven it.
Well, guys, he's going to be 20. He's possibly going to be 21-6 in 2 years. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm predicting them to go 10-2, maybe win their bowl game. That's 11-2, man. I mean, that's a good year.
And most of these names, most of these names I went through, when I would click on their names, what it said where they were from beside their name?
Louisiana.
Yep.
Yep.
You got to go out of state.
Nope. I don't see any guys from Georgia on there. I don't think I've seen any Alabama. There's a few guys from like Miami, places like that. And they do have a kid from Texas, but man, it is New Orleans. These boys are big. They're mad. They've been swatting mosquitoes since they were a year old. I'm telling you, they've been dragging alligators by the tail since they were 3. These are some big old dudes, and they are ready to go to Tuscaloosa and try to win that game.
I looked up and seen that Pro Football Focus has 2 of their guys on their first team offense, Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
Yeah, Neighbors is the real deal. He's one of the best receivers in the conference.
He's 1,000-year. I mean, he's a junior, but he won't play his senior year. He'll never play his senior year.
And of course, on the other side, you got a Wingo, which we talked about. They always have a Wingo, and Harold Perkins.
Perkins is he the linebacker?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
They've had some good linebackers. They've always had a good DBs too.
They're going to play him, and think about these guys. These men, they can play inside out.
Yep.
Right.
Some of these guys can be 3 techniques or not.
Right.
Okay.
Kind of like we were talking about Alabama earlier.
They can push. Okay, I ain't trying to be too technical, but you got those stunt lefts. When you get that Benton knows, when you split the body left hand up and you cut the hand on the side when they're working inside plays, these guys are big enough. What I'm saying is to put your hand on a guy and split him. They don't hardly have to split him all the time. They can handle a guy of their own. Benton as a lineman, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to split with a guy when you're guard and a tackle and they're having to work, combo block stuff.
Right.
These guys are so big. What that does, that lets these linemen at LSU let guys like Perkins shoot lanes as linebackers.
Who can make the tackle.
And can shoot, because the defensive lineman job, listeners and podcast people, the same thing is the same concept as offensive linemen. Offensive linemen are block and make lanes for tailbacks. Defensive linemen block and make lanes for the linebackers. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
LSU, I'm telling you, man.
Gonna be strong. Gonna be
that game at Tuscaloosa.
Gonna be a great one, huh?
You better have you.
And I didn't even think it'd be a good game last. You remember that? I was like, I ain't worried about that. I don't even know if I'll watch it. It's 31-30.
You better get your chicken wings done early, Birge.
To me, not having any stake in either one of those teams. I got to see what the Alabama offense does. If they're playing well at that time, I would favor Alabama at home.
Right.
For sure.
Well, your team's going to have to play one of these teams.
Yeah.
That's a huge game for you as a Georgia fan. You're going to have to you're playing one of them guys, no doubt. One of those guys is going to be meeting probably Georgia and Atlanta.
We don't think Ole Miss will come on and win the West.
No.
I think they'll be good.
They may finish third in the West.
Yeah. I've got them third. Benton, you want to go next with the Bulldogs? Or do you want me to go next with the Tide?
Whatever you want to do. If you want to go with the Tide, you can roll with the Tide.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right.
I finished. I was out first, so I guess that means he goes second.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Alabama Crimson Tide, 2023. Obviously, we know who their coach is. but he has brought in some new coaches, and Kevin Steele and Tommy Reese. And that's the main thing he's talked about this fall camp is how pleased he is with them. Reese calling the offense, Steele calling the defense. But have you heard much about these guys, Benton?
What do you mean, the coordinators?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about Reese?
Well, I think he's a young guy with good talent, and I don't think that he would be in there if
right. I mean, everybody's kind of
think he could do it.
Well, we know Steele's good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, why'd you hire this guy? What are you doing hiring this guy? I mean, really? I mean, he's going to hire somebody that he knows is good. And but Reese, I also think, and you might agree with this, that Reese is also wanting to go back. I mean, that Saban's wanting to go back to kind of ground and pound style.
Yeah, I think that's benefits him more because I think that's where his major talent is. I think he's got a couple running backs. It's going to be a heck of a run. That freshman y'all got is going to be a heck of a running back.
Well, that's where I'll get to that here in a minute. But yeah, well, I mean, I think Reese is going to do what he wants. I'm talking about he's going to run a style of offense that Nick Saban is more accustomed to and likes better. I know they won one in that spread stuff, but I just don't think he cares much for it. Line-wise, Alabama has 3 starters returning. One of them's first-team All-American. That's J.C. Latham. I also have Seth McLaughlin and Darian Dallencourt. I've heard their line wasn't going to be that great, but it sounds to me like they're going to be pretty good. I don't know. I don't know where they got that from, but the running backs is what you were talking about. 4. They've got 4. Saban said in fall camp that he's got to find a way to put all these on the field. And he said he was going to use special teams for that. So I take that to mean that a couple of them's going to be running back kicks, right? Yeah. Jace McClellan looks like he's going to be the man. Roy Dale Williams, a guy named Jam Miller, and this freshman phenom, which he's from Buford, right?
Who?
Haynes.
Oh, Haynes. Yeah, Haynes. Yes.
Justice Haynes.
Yeah, Justice. Yeah.
But Saban's pretty much said, now all 4 of them's not going to play. It's going to be 3 of them. But which 3 is it going to be? Right now, consensus is it's going to be McClellan, Roy Dale Williams, and Haynes. And a lot of people are predicting Haynes to be the main man by the end of the year. All right, receiver-wise, you've got Kobe Prentice. He's a very good receiver. Ja'Cory Brooks is supposed to be the best one out of that, along with y'all's former player, Benton, Jermaine Burton. And me and Matt really like Isaiah Bond. That is the 4 receivers.
Bond and Brooks. Brooks is the type of guy. It's time for him to have a year to have a breakout time.
Yeah,
this is the year that he needs to, because he dropped a pass in one of the big games.
Yeah, he did,
and it cost us a game. Pretty much. It may have been the Tennessee game or LSU game, but it's time to step up. And at some point in time, we cannot keep saying, "Well, he's young." He's a young player. These guys come out of high school from these camps. They play ball all the time.
I know.
This is not 1987 where guys just, they work the pig wiggle and they play football on Friday nights. It's not that. These kids play ball
all the time.
All the time. It's time to grow. It's time to be ready.
Right.
Somebody's got to, and so we need leadership. I'm looking for some type of leader to stand out. And I think that's what Saban's waiting on, quarterback wise. Right. Somebody to win, God dang, just take it. Right? We're just going to give it to Milton or to Milroe. We're going to give it to him. But somebody needs to come take it. Ty, if you want it, we can't just give it to you. If you ain't going to come up here and challenge him, I guess we're going to start him.
Right. Well, that's the problem. Now, we've talked about the line, pretty good. Running backs, absolutely loaded. Receivers, better than average.
Yeah.
We have no idea who this quarterback's going to be, and he won't say a word.
Oh, he said something on his press conference. He said that he will let you know when the cake's ready to be taken out of the oven. Exactly what he said.
I personally think it's going to be Milroe. People now in the state are chirping and it's going to be Simpson. I think it's going to be Milroe because he can run so well.
But he makes bad decisions.
He does make some bad decisions.
And Saban don't like that. I've seen him jerk players. We've seen him jerk Tua. We've seen him jerk Jalen. He don't like that. And when he starts turning that ball over, he'll put the hook out there on him. That because he knows that'll cost you a football game. You cannot give the other team the football back. And he's just.
Well, have you heard anything, Benton? I mean, I don't hear much about Buckner at all, to be honest.
No, nothing.
I think it's going to come down between Milroe and Simpson. I've not heard anything about Buckner.
Buckner's just there.
He may be the starter, though.
No, he just came to help learn the other players his offensive. You know, he played for Reese.
Right.
So what better guy to come? Hey, transfer down here to Bama. We're gonna have you all set up. You'll have steak and champagne every day. You're at Alabama, man. It's one of the nicest institutions around. You don't finish your degree up and help me be a on field, be a grad assistant. Maybe Buckner wants to be a coach. This will be a good way for him to return and be a GA and help these two learn the offense because he knows it.
Right.
He knows what Reese is going to expect.
So you don't think Buckner's even going to be in the mix?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, we don't have any idea. And Benton, like you said earlier, we got backs. They've got good backs. They've got good receivers. But until this quarterback problem's solved, if it is a problem, we don't know. Whoever it is may be unbelievable. We don't know.
Well, we're
the line's good.
They are good up front. I'm a little scratchy on some of their defensive middle guys. They're three. Now they're ends. Who was the two ends?
What? Well, they're loaded on defense.
Turner and I always forget the other guy's name.
Well, it's Turner's outside backer.
Yeah, Turner and Buckner, or the Simpson guy.
No, you got O'Boygby.
Yeah,
that's a hard one to say. O'Boygby defensively. Yeah. I'll get into defense. Defensively,
okay, I thought you done did. Okay, sorry.
No, I've got Jaheim Otis.
Okay.
He's great. He started last year. Tim Smith played a lot last year, and Justin O'Boygby all played a lot last year. So they got plenty of experience on the D line. Linebacker is the question mark. You got Dallas Turner, who's all conference.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Will Anderson, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I really like him. I'm telling you, I'm telling you guys.
Yeah. He's going to be that rush.
Yes.
We call him an end. They call him a
outside
jack linebacker.
Yeah, OLBs or jack.
And you got a guy named Tresman Marshall, come from Georgia. He's expected to start.
Good player.
He's a good player. He is expected to start. There's a guy named Jaheed Campbell going to push for playing time. Chris Braswell's going to push for playing time. Chris Braswell.
Yeah, I like him.
But the one they're sold on, the middle linebacker, Deontay Lawson. They just sold completely out on him. He's great. Saban's even called him out and said he just gets better every day.
So this week at practice, he's bragging on him already.
And, when we went to the spring game, we had read something where they said, this guy's amazing. So you got a D line that's experienced. You've got a great outside linebacker in Turner, and supposedly we've got an amazing Alabama. I got to quit saying we has a great middle linebacker. Well,
those safeties and corners are they'll be hard to score on. If Steele can get this defense lined up, okay, get them lined up in the right spot. It's about personnel and it's about timing. And when you play teams like Tennessee, and I'm not trying to be cliche or funny about. Well, all he does is so let me just say that up front. All he does is what Heupel does. Pretty simple if you're just not stupid. Like, I'm smart. I'm not trying to insinuate that. But it's just Gus Malzahn 2.0. He just hurries. Tennessee uses guys like Squirrel to bring in motion to set a linebacker to see if he's coming or going, if they're playing man or if they're in the zone. And he hurries and he puts people in matchup situation problems. And Goldman had a terrible time with trying to match up people. Well, a lot of people had trouble matching up with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Florida probably matched up with them better. Now go back and watch that game. That game was close most of the game. Okay, but Hooker's just so good. And that's where, I'm not sure how that's going to be. And we done did a spot on Tennessee, but I'm using them as an example. Bama's got these guys that can play inside and out, like I mentioned a while ago at LSU.
Their linebackers are interchangeable.
If you can put them in a bad spot, and you can get a guy trying to backpedal and put him in a situation where it's quick over the middle, or if it's an in-out dig plays where they're hitting the middle and running up the sideline trying to catch a deep, or those darn side shoulder throws, back shoulder throws.
Mm-hmm.
Bama's going to be hard to beat.
Oh, well, their secondary, you got Kool-Aid at corner.
That's good.
He's considered the best corner in the country, Benton. Best corner in the country, Matt. Tevian Arnold.
They're all American.
Is the other one. He's got a ton of experience. Malachi Moore has been starting forever at the safety.
It's his third year, though, ain't it?
And
Seems like it.
And the free safety, he's a strong safety, and the nickel back if they need him.
That's the key. See what you just said? And what I was getting at too, which I think I done said, they put you in bad situations, so you cannot change your defense up. You can't get in and out of a package. And Kirby, which Benton's fixing to do Georgia, Kirby could put his defense out there on the field, and Golden could not. Kirby would put a defense out there that he may have one guy that could run that could be in a zone 3-4, or could do a cover 6.
Right.
Because he can tackle and he can run. Because he can run to cover a cover 6. Because you got 6 guys dropping, or he could just be in a cover 2.
Right.
Because he can run. Those kind of guys, it helps because when they start going fast, and you know, remember when they first started doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Saban griped about it. He's like, this is going to get somebody hurt. And it did. That's why you had a lot of these knee problems, because these kids that are not accustomed to running these styles of plays and stuff, they're putting them in situations, and the offense is trying to hurry. That's what Gus did. Gus wanted to hurry when Gene Chisnick was at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
It was just in a hurry. It wasn't nothing fancy.
Right.
You had a spectacular quarterback in Cam Newton, a freak athlete, and a hurry-up style that just caught people out of position.
Right.
And I don't mean to say –
well, I don't know that they'll get out of position now, because you got more – and the free safety is going to be Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Who's the top freshman in the country.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid can play safety. Arnold can play both. Moore can play corner and safety. I'm sure Downs can play anywhere. So it's just going to be a more versatile secondary. So you got good linebackers. You got a great D-line. We're going to see the defense of old. You remember some of those defenses that nobody could even score on?
That's the problem. You got to be able to get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
And when it's, 3rd and 12, Kirby always put the defensive guys in a good position to pin their ear back and get after the defense. And Golden would have he would put speed on the field. He would have a 6'1", 220 guy like a Mosley, skinny in the britches. Remember, I didn't like Mosley. Just wasn't my guy. He's too thin in the britches. Whereas you had Hightower style guys, but it's hard for those kind of guys to still play, Birge. It's hard to get a 6'3", 270 linebacker, because who is trucking the ball and running that old LSU I formation? Nobody.
Yeah, all you're going to do is run that back out of the backfield and play that matchup.
Yep, and guess what's going to happen? A wheel route, touchdown.
Well, Alabama's got to get this quarterback. I think the defense is going to be fine. Secondary, like Matt said, is one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's going to put Alabama over the top in the West, they got a great kicker. Reichard's a good kicker.
Well, they ain't had one. Well, no, that's not true. Past year or two has been okay, but like 4 or 5 years ago, they struggled.
Yeah, they did. I mean, he's better than average, and you got Kool-Aid as a punt returner. He's the best punt returner in the country. So you've got a good kicker, you got a good O-line, you got good backs, good receivers. I mean, the weakest spot is quarterback.
Maybe I'm overreacting.
I think they just dropped one game. I think they go 11-1.
That nose tackle position, I don't know. I mean, they've played some football, but, just because something's been around a long time don't mean it's good. Like Alice Cooper's been around for 60 years. I like his music.
Right. Well, Otis is pretty good now. I mean, he's no Terrence Cody, but he's no Quentin Williams, but he's good.
Not no Jonathan Allen.
No.
God, he was great. Where's them guys at, Birge? Where are they at?
Birge, you think Bama goes 11-1? Well, the reason I say that is all their toughest games are at home.
They are Tuscaloosa. That's going to help. You're jamming Dixieland a lot, and the red and white lights are flashing. It is a little easier. It is.
LSU, Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss, every one of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them – I think somebody's going to get them. I can't tell you who, but I think somebody's going to get them.
I think the worst possible scenario would be 10-2. I think if they beat Texas week 2, they're probably going undefeated.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I think they got a chance to go undefeated if they get the quarterback spot figured out.
And I agree. I think it hinges on what the offense can do.
We don't know how big of a problem this is. We don't know. I mean, I remember the last time Alabama had what we thought was a quarterback problem. It was Jake Coker, and he did fantastic, and they won it.
Well, and the year before, the big problem was Blake Sims. I just rewatched some of that season the other day on the highlight.
He did great.
They lost to Ezekiel Elliott, one of the best teams Ohio State had. Some of they had like so many first-round picks on the offensive line from that team.
Oh, they were good.
Jones, Gage, Buckshot Jones, quarterback. Yeah. I mean, we didn't know who our quarterback was, but Lane Kiffin was calling plays.
Yeah. And you could lean on that defense. I think that defense was pretty darn good back then, too.
Well, the defense is going to be good this year. And you know how big it is to have a great secondary in college football.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to predict – I'm predicting 11-1, win the West. I don't know. I'm going to predict Georgia to win the East, obviously. I'm not going to predict that game yet. It's too early for that. But my preseason prediction is for Alabama to win the West.
It don't matter. We've already picked Ohio State, Jeff, to win the national championship. The Ohio State.
We may have to change that, Jeff.
The Ohio State. Birge, the Durham Dogs, can they be, question for the audience, can the University of Georgia be the first team to Triple Crown? Bama was the closest in 66 to do it. And go read the book, Missing Ring of 66. Fantastic book. If you just like football, go find it in your library or buy it for $1, probably at some bookstore.
Didn't I say USC nearly did it?
Yes, they did too.
With Texas, when Vince Young, they would have three-peated.
It's terribly crazy hard, but if anybody can do it, man, I'm not going to say easy because it's not easy playing football in the conference. But Georgia has a weaker schedule. Okay, they're out of conference teams. They're not playing a Texas or they're not playing a Florida State. Birge ain't stupid, so y'all don't go in here commenting crazy stuff. He knows that. But the biggest thing is Georgia can stay healthy and they can make another run at this. Can they do it, Birge? What do you got for us?
Can they do it? Yes. Will they do it? We'll have to see. I think it's a long season. A lot of things have to go your way. I mean, we've seen, last year when, honestly, Kirby's even said it in some of his interviews. The Ohio State should have beat Georgia in that game last year.
Yes.
But they didn't. So, when you give somebody that opportunity, I think it opened their eyes up, and then TCU just – anyway, we won't go there.
You don't think TCU was really that bad, do you?
No, I don't think they were that bad. I really don't think so.
I think they just really got down and just a juggernaut, wasn't it?
I think it was just and people will say, even in the pregame and the press pregame, when they see Georgia come out versus what TCU was lining up, it wasn't an even fight. Let's say that.
Right.
So everybody knows Kirby's the head coach over there, and Big Matt definitely knows. Do what?
I thought Vince Dooley was still over there.
and Big Matt definitely knows that Mike Bobo is the new offensive coordinator, and he loves that guy. I know. Glenn Schumann and Will Muschamp are your defensive coordinators, and some of the guys that don't get enough credit, Brian McClendon, passing game coordinator, receivers coach, and Dale McGee with the big get.
Dale McGee's good.
Yeah, Dale McGee's he's got those running backs looking good.
He's very good
if they can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. He played at Auburn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played defensive back at Auburn, but he's like one of the top assistant coaches that's not a coordinator in the country.
Gotcha. Someone's going to flip to a couple of the PFF, like I was talking about, the Pro Football Focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll run through who they have on offense and defense, and then I'll go through the names individually. Pro Football Focus has 5 guys on their all-SEC offensive team from the Dogs. A couple you'll know, Brock Bowers, probably Cedric Van Pran, which is going to be the senior, Tate Rutledge, which is going to be Ratledge, which is going to be the right guard, Amarius Mims, which is going to be the right tackle, and then transfer coming in, Dominique Lovett. So you got 3 of the 5 linemen that's going to start on PFF's just Pro Football Focus's all offensive team. On the defensive side, You have Najir Stackhouse, which will be on the D line. Dumas Johnson, which had a pretty good season last year. And then you have in the secondary, Malachi Starks, which would just be a sophomore, will probably be an All-American. They'll be battling back against, Alabama safeties for that All-American, did he?
Starks is a preseason All-American, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then Javon Bullard is also back there at safety. So plenty returning, even though there is a lot leaving. When you look at the offense, just starting with the Dogs on offense, there is a so-called quarterback battle. You have Carson Beck, Brock Vandergriff, and Gunnar Stockton, all three getting some reps. The first team reps are basically going majority to Carson Beck and Vandergriff, I believe. I don't think everybody is sold on Carson Beck, but I'm tell you right now, I think day one Carson Beck's going to be your quarterback. He's got the most experience in the system. He's got the big arm. Depends on who you ask, but I don't think the offense is going to lack any with Beck under center. When you go to running backs, go ahead. What was that?
Oh, I'd just say I've heard good things about Beck.
Yeah, Beck, he's only had, as far as attempts, he's played in 7 games. That was last year. He was 26 for 35 for 310 yards and 4 touchdowns. So that's one thing they're lacking. And, kind of like Alabama, you got to see how the quarterback's going to turn out.
Right.
That position is going to be huge. I mean, we all know it's quarterback driven. Otherwise, USC probably wouldn't be as high up as they are. Running backs, one of the issues Georgia's had, over the last few years is keeping running backs healthy. I mean, they have a good many running backs, a couple of new that you might see this year. Roderick Robinson, which is a big guy, and Andrew Paul, which just come off an injury last year. Your number 1 and number 2 running back, or 1A, 1B, is going to be Kendall Milton and Dejon Edwards, and they're going to be your most yards returning. Dejon had 771 yards and 7 touchdowns, and Kendall, which was injured a good bit of the year, had 590 yards and 9 touchdowns. Dejon is going to take over in the pass catching role, I think, out of the backfield. I think you're going to see him doing a lot of the pass catching out of the backfield.
That McIntosh did last year.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they threw a lot to McIntosh.
Yeah, I believe he'll take over that role. As far as receivers go, I think when you talk about pass catchers, you got to go talk about Brock Bowers. Even though he's not a receiver, he's going to be a big time target. I think you will be surprised to see that a man by the name of Oscar Delp is going to have some big time catches this year too. I mean, he's 6'5". I'm going to venture he's probably 235. He's bulked up this year. He's going to be another big time pass catcher.
He's the other tight end.
He is. Yeah, he is the other tight end.
Yeah.
He's going to be you're going to see Bowers and him both flexed out trying to, play matchups.
Right.
As far as receivers go, Ladd McConkey is probably going to be your one. I mean, he's your slot guy. He's your go deep guy. He can, run pretty much any route. Then after that, I think you're going to go Arian Smith is going to be in there.
Yeah, he's very good.
Marcus Rosemy-Jack-Saint. And then your transfer, Dominique Lovett, you're going to see him catching the ball some. And those are going to be the 3 or 4 that you're going to, Robert Thomas is on the roster, but he's been, from what I hear, he's been taking the lower team reps, like 5th in line or something like that.
He's getting some trouble.
I believe he had some kind of issue, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty good. Now going down, I guess we've made it to the offensive line. Left tackle is right now currently looking like it's going to be a man by the name of Ernest Green. He is a redshirt freshman from Los Angeles, 6'4", 320. Right now leading for left tackle. So he'll be a new starter. Xavier Truss will be at the left guard. Truss is another one of those big guys. Truss is 6'7", 320 at left guard. Cedric Van Pran, which is probably one of the best centers, I think, in the nation, will be back at center.
They have recruited at the top of the.
Tate Ratledge will be back. He's your Darlington Tiger from our local area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tate.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Tate played at Darlington and Rome, and he's a 6'6", 310 junior. And then Amarius Mims will be the right tackle, and this will be the first time he's starting at the beginning of the year, but he played throughout the playoffs last year. So Mims has got a lot of reps, and he's a 5-star guy that's going to be a top 10 pick, I believe, when he comes out.
Right.
He'll be a junior this year. He's 6'7", 340 pounds, and he can move. So
the offense is just stacked.
The offensive line has 3 of 5 starters coming back, and everybody's played a little bit besides Ernest Green. So yeah, I think your offensive line should be just fine.
And you got good backs, good receivers.
Yeah, good backs. They probably one of the deeper receiving cores. There's going to be some names that you hadn't heard, but I think the offense is going to be fine. I don't see why Georgia's offense wouldn't be just as successful.
No, I don't either.
This season. Now, when you come to the other side of the ball, one of my concerns, and some people at Georgia are not as concerned, one of my concerns is the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no dominating force like Georgia's had in the past, or a proven dominating force. Let me say that. If there's a guy that could be that, you look at guys like Jordan Hall or Jamal Jarrett, which are young guys, but they could possibly have that role this year. Jamal Jarrett's a guy that you don't hear a lot about, but in this fall, just pure size, 6'5", 350. He's a freshman. Jamal Jarrett, he's going to be interesting to watch and see. But as far as, starting up front, we'll go defensive end, Michael Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even been participating yet, but he'll be back for the season, we hope. Let's see. Walthour will be there. I talked about Jordan Hall. You got Zion Logue and Nazir Stackhouse. You did lose the one transfer that went to USC and Bear Alexander.
Right. That hurt, didn't it?
That hurt as far as depth goes. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that they'll be fine. But you want to have another guy of that size. You never want to lose somebody that big and quick. Outside backer, your probably most experienced guy is Chaz Chambliss from Carrollton, and he's probably, I don't even know if he may be a 5th-year guy, but Chaz has been there a while. Marvin Jones Jr., Damon Smith is another guy to look for. I think Marvin Jones is going to be one of those guys that you hadn't heard anything about, and he's going to pop up, end up being a big-time draft pick one day. And then Jamon Dumas Johnson at inside linebacker, or the money backer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they all call them different things, don't they?
Yeah. Along with E.J. Lightsey, which is, I'd call him a tough guy. That's the guy that got shot in the leg or whatever so many times anyway. That's a long story. But and then C.J. Allen, C.J. Allen coming up. He'll be another linebacker to go along with Smile Munden. Xavier Story. Yeah, these guys are good players. Xavier Story is one that I've been told to watch out for, that he could have a breakout year at linebacker. So go along.
I know that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I know Molden's like the top returning defensive player besides Starks, is he not?
I would say he's up there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did lose. One that you talked about earlier, Tresman Marshall went to Alabama. And then Rian Davis, he entered the portal after the break too. But as far as the secondary goes, Smoke Bouye was in there, but he's recently been he's not
That's
there.
That's got to be the best name in college football.
Well, he's not in college football anymore, from what I understand. But anyway,
oh no.
Nyland Green will be one of your cornerbacks. Julian Humphrey and Dalen Everett is another guy to go along with Kamari Laster, A.J. Harris at the other side. But your best players, are probably going to be your safeties. Malachi Starks and Javon Bullard. And Joel Aguero. I've been told to put a star by his name because they say this dude is an old school safety that will come up and knock your block off. Made in the Greg Blue type mold.
Right,
so
right.
I don't know if y'all remember him back in the day.
Yes, I do.
Then you still got Tyke Smith and Marcus Washington Jr. off of the backfield back there at Star. Like you said, there's all kind of names for these guys. But
right. That Kwame Lassiter, where's he from?
That name
just sounds familiar. There may have been another guy that played that. I think his dad might have played pro football. I'm serious because I've heard that name before.
He's from Savannah.
But this Chambliss you were talking about, and he's the one that hit Corum so hard, right?
That's the guy I got up here on the screen. His video played at Carrollton.
Yeah, that's the guy that played at Carrollton. That's him.
That's the one that hit Corum when he swung the pass out to him. The year before last.
I believe so. I believe you're right.
Yeah.
And these videos right here, man, it doesn't do justice what he looks like now, even though he looked impressive then.
6'3", 243.
Yeah.
6'3", 243. This is his senior year of high school.
That's big.
Now he's probably gained 20 pounds.
Well, he's stronger too.
Well, sure. He's just 18.
How can you not be good if you're 6'3", 243? I mean, really?
Well, I was 6'3", 220, and I wasn't that good.
Oh, please.
I was just strong, but
now he goes 6'3", 250 now.
Wow. See, look, this guy's causing havoc. We're watching some clips here from the Chambliss guy. Benton's Birge is going through some Georgia players. There he is right here. This is just one of the many other of the names that he's named. These guys are dudes, okay? And they're from all different positions, and they're all on one team now, and they're all playing for Georgia, and it's just not fair. And I think they should have to play. They should have to play Alabama and LSU every year. I mean, I know they can't help it. They're in the East, and the East has not been real good. But they ain't nothing they can do about that. But dang, man, geez, Louise, can they get something? And I know they're supposed to play Oklahoma.
Well, now the next year, boy, they've got it.
They're getting hammered in. Yeah. They got Bama and Oklahoma.
They got Bama, Tennessee, Clemson,
Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. But
y'all better three-peat. Y'all may not win another.
I don't think they'll lose a game.
Years.
I mean, not in the regular season. I'm picking them to go 12-0.
Defensively, I don't know why they shouldn't be just as good as they always are. Why not? It is a question, and the only questions for a quarterback is because we hadn't seen Beck play really. And Benton knows this. I like Vandergrift. I don't know.
It's not that I don't like Vandergrift.
I know.
I just think at this point in their career, your best bet is to go with Beck.
See, Vandergrift he watches the show a little bit, and he needs to just come on over and go to Alabama, and he just roll with the tide.
I know. He was good. He played at Prince Avenue, right?
Man, he's great.
Yeah.
Super high on him.
You did say one thing, Benton, that I do not like as far as a three-peat.
Defensive line.
Yep.
The what?
Yeah.
Their defensive line. Their defensive line was amazing the last 2 years.
Well, but they're all gone now. They they were bound to lose them because they're a bunch of sophomores and juniors. Then they were junior seniors, and now they got a few of the juniors that were juniors. Now they're seniors. But there's only how many of them? 3.
Yeah, and they're not as great as what we've been having, right? Or what y'all been having, right?
There's the guy that grabbed the LSU guy and held him up and put his finger up, in there. There's no
But and hear me like this.
There's
a guy standing on the sideline that can do a lot with less. And he just happens to be the head football coach at Georgia. If anybody can do more with less on defense, it's the curbster is what I like. That's what I call him. When I see him in person, I'm going to see him next weekend, the curbster.
Don't get me wrong. The curbster is fine, well, and good, but these guys that are backing these other guys up are 4 and 5 stars too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just yet to find out how good they are. I mean,
that may be great.
Who would have thought that the dude that went to Jacksonville number 1 overall pick would have been there. I mean, 2 years before that, he was buried in the depth chart. Nobody even knew who he was. So, I mean, that's what they're selling too at Georgia. They're selling, hey, look, you don't have to start year 1, year 2. You can come out and play one good year and be a top 10 pick, which is
right. Maybe even the first overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, which is true because they have evidence to it. So.
It's the same kind of thing I'll run through with LSU. They may play a freshman or two on their defensive end spots, not a tackle like an outside jack guy.
Yeah.
But some of the guys with a hand on the ground, the 315-pounders, the big hogs.
Right.
They may, but they've got so many. They've got a good rotation. And if you've got, this is just me, if you've got 3 deep on some positions, you got a 5-star guy, and then you got 2 3-stars backing him up that can come in and give him a break and run different rotations and keep that 5-star, keep him some air in big hog.
Yeah.
And Georgia's been good at that. So, like you just said, we don't know. Those freshmen may be good.
Yeah.
They could be.
All the indications I'm seeing is Jamal Jarrett and Jordan Hall are going to be studs. Of course, they have finals.
I'm not picking a Final Four yet, and I'll see how the season goes. But I think Georgia will be fine in the regular season. They play Tennessee at home, right?
No, it's at Tennessee, at Knoxville.
Yeah, it's at Tennessee. That's why I picked Tennessee to be.
I still can't. I don't think Tennessee's going to be as good because of Hooker and Hyatt being gone. But I still can't pick against them.
I don't think Tennessee's going to score enough points. I mean, they brought that high scoring offense to Athens last year, and got
they just didn't have it as good as Tennessee was last year. And I know Georgia was good last year, but they just didn't have any trouble with them whatsoever. And I don't think Georgia's that down on defense. They may not be as great as they were the last 2 years, but I'm sure it won't be a big time fall off.
They're finished. Birge, let me just
over.
Let me just add this. Whenever you get in there and you get to winning and when it becomes a thing like Bama, when you start winning 5 or 6, look what happened last year. Bama loses 2 games by a combination of 4 points. It's over. The dynasty's over. Saban's folding it up now.
Yeah.
He's reached a ripe old age and he's just not ready.
Well,
he just don't have it no more. He's not hands-on with them, Birds. He's just not going to win it. Bama's just not good enough no more. I'm looking at Michigan to win this thing. And then what happens? Bama takes Coker and wins a freaking national championship.
Yeah.
I'm not ever going to count. He's like Paul Benefield at 5. I will never. Somebody's like, well, I'm telling you now, that Comer group, that Harris boy, that Harris kid is fantastic. He's a man playing with kids out there. I'll never, ever count against 5, though, man. No. I'm just not going to bet against them.
No, you don't bet against 5.
5 plays
against Alabama or Georgia.
5 plays Central Phoenix. I got 5 by touchdown. What? That's ridiculous. They're 7-8.
What about Mill Creek?
I'm telling you. It don't matter. They're still 11-11. Now, if they can tackle 5 every time for a loss of a play because Mill Creek has
guys that can start for Alabama.
Yes, 3 guys on defense that play for Bama. Now, if they can bust the line, and that's very possible because of how good they are. But if Paul can get 3 or 4 yards of tote, he'll keep the darn ball all night and they'll win 7-0. I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
Now we'll get out of that. And that's just I'm being funny. But I'm saying I'm not betting against Bama.
No.
If they win the stupid title this year, I wouldn't go, well, I didn't see that coming.
Well, no. I think either team, Georgia or Alabama, could win it.
Yeah. Now, if UTEP comes out and they pull out something, they got Houston the first game. I sent that to you, Birge. I sent you some games. We'll talk about that before we get off.
If UTEP wins it, you're going to be surprised.
I will be surprised then.
What about Northwestern?
Very surprised.
Wow.
I want to see Nebraska do well. I want to see Nebraska have a good year. Bad.
Win 6 games? 7?
Yeah, 7. It's just, God, boy, they've just gone through a tough time.
To finish up Georgia, is there anything else you want to add about your dogs, Birds?
I mean, I think you got, with the schedule, South Carolina and Athens, probably your first. Who knows what South Carolina's going to show up with? I mean,
me and Matt don't seem to think they're going to be as good as they were last year.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't. I honestly don't.
I did a spot on them, and I sat here and read about them for about 4 hours. one Friday evening, Saturday morning. And when I broke that down, I said, they're moving a receiver to a running back to have another what?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do at a D3 school, and that's okay because that's what you have to do. And even at Georgia Southern, you may have to do that, and that's okay. But not at a D1 school.
Right.
You're not moving your receivers to play running back. It's just not how it works, guys. So nobody's going to challenge Georgia. My last take on them will be this. If Georgia, and it's very likely that they stay healthy because of who they play, they can rotate.
Mm-hmm.
They can rotate in those because them 3-star guys from Buford and Mill Creek and Grayson can whoop some tail on these other schools, these small colleges. They don't have to play the big hosses. He can play them a half, get them out, let them rest, and maybe put them back in every now and then. I don't know if he wants to run them in something. Georgia stays healthy. We'll see you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We'll see you in Atlanta.
I agree. They may drop a game, but they're still going to Atlanta.
No, they would have to lose like 2 or 3 games. Now, could Florida sneak in and upset them? My most underrated team this year is Florida.
Yeah, we think Florida's going to be a little better than advertised.
Yep, I do. Georgia stays healthy. We'll see you in Atlanta. I mean, I'm bending the bar to say, like Bowers breaks his leg and then Beck's out like game 5. Okay, well, now they may not, be able to, something crazy,
Have they had an injury in the last 2 years? Has anybody been out much?
Yeah, McConkey was out some.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't out a lot, though, was he?
Some linemen out, couple defensive linemen out. I mean, everybody, you're going to have it every year.
Yeah, I knew you're going to have a little bit, but I mean, nothing major.
They stay healthy. We'll see y'all in Atlanta.
Yeah, I can get on board with that 100%.
And they'll be playing.
I think they'll be playing Alabama.
LSU's going to give Alabama a fit, and Tuscaloosa that night. It's going to be a mess.
I just don't. And I think Daniels, I think he had a great year, but I think there's been a lot of film studied on him this offseason, and I don't know if he'll have as good a year.
We'll see if Caleb Downs and Kool-Aid's ready to play. They fired up that night. They better have their heads in the game because Daniels can put something on them, and he can pull it in and take off with it too.
Yeah, he is a good runner, and that's something you can't defend a lot.
No, ain't much you can do about that.
I think you're gonna find out if they're ready week 2, big man. I think Texas is gonna come in there with some motivation.
They got the quarterback that can do it.
Am I saying Texas is going to beat them? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
That's going to be a good one, I think.
When all this talk goes out the window, if Alabama's quarterback stuff don't get worked out, they don't go 11-1.
Now, here's a scenario.
I don't think.
And we'll move into some of these early games, and then we'll get off here. Here's a scenario. The scenario is Milton comes in on – this is Greg McElroy. I'm not going to take credit for this. The genius, the highest Wonderlink score ever for an NFL quarterback was Greg McElroy. It was. He's crazy smart. And he's doing what he should be doing. I mean, he was okay quarterback, but he's a brain, man. He says he feels – and he did play there.
Yeah.
They did win a chip. Okay. He's in touch with the program. He said, without any inside news, and I'm not locked down here, I'm on the phone with Saban. He's telling me who the quarterback is. He feels that Milroe will be quarterback from the 20 to the end zone. And between the 20s, that Ty Simpson will be your quarterback. And that he'll roll him in. Do you remember when Mallett used to come in Arkansas Birge? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You remember how they would put Mallett in? Down there to 10. Remember how they did Tebow a little bit when they started working him in?
With Leak, yeah.
That's what you may see because he's got to play football. Okay. He's the fastest guy on the team. He's got to touch the ball. Okay. He can throw it a little bit to keep you honest, but man, this cat can move. He's got great hips. He takes those long, fast steps. He's a 4.3 40 running guy.
Oh, he's 100 yards rushing a game.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to put him in the backfield or he's going to put him in motion, but it may be he may put Ty Simpson out there on the side as a wide out and then him run off to the side and Milton take off in the slot and then run one of them quarterback pitch back plays. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. We don't know Reese. What do we know about his offense? What are we going to do? Go back and watch Notre Dame games? They got beat by
They got beat by App State, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it App State? No, Marshall.
Marshall beat them. So I'm thinking, golly, dude, we're going to get drugged by, like, I don't know, the first game. Utah State's going to drag us.
Do whatever the head
Saban wants.
Yeah, Saban's
But he's going to have better players.
Yeah, I agree.
He is, yeah.
He'll have better players.
And was the offensive coordinator of the year. Notre Dame made the playoff.
So we're going to find out more about that. So that's, Georgia and LSU and Bama.
Definitely the three best in the conference, in my opinion, with Tennessee
and Ole Miss running in there with them. They're on
Kentucky, maybe sixth.
Yeah, Kentucky's going to be a mess for Tennessee. I'm telling you right now. My overhyped team is Tennessee. My underhyped team again is Florida.
I'm looking for. I mean, we go back over it briefly. I think Mississippi State and Florida will be okay. I don't think Missouri,
not bad.
A&M, Vanderbilt, South Carolina. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think they'll be any good.
If Petrino and Jimbo can get along, I'm going to tell you right now, don't be surprised if they win some games.
I think they'll be okay. I'm just talking about not as good as those others.
They'll beat all them other teams if they get it together.
Right.
They'll beat LSU again.
Mm-hmm.
They'll beat Ole Miss. They'll beat Arkansas. And what if they beat Alabama?
I don't think Arkansas will be very good.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that.
I mean, I just don't think they have and I didn't think Kentucky would be, but I'm telling you, I'm hearing from too many people how good they're going to be. So
after we did that spot for them, their coordinator's back, and
I got to get on board with them.
Leary at QB, they got a lot of their offense back. Defense, they're going to give up some points, but I think they're going to be able to score anybody. So
now, when I say no good, I mean 500, 7-5. I don't mean terrible. I just don't think they're going to make a push.
If A&M puts it together,
top team.
Just remember that A&M may be a 9-win team. They may put some games together.
That'll save his job for sure.
Petrino's a good play caller, man.
He is.
Birge, what do you like about? You think A&M could be a 8 or 9 win, 10-win team?
Yeah, I mean, like y'all was saying, it just depends on how they gel together. I think that. They got the talent too. They did lose a good bit of that talent that they brought in.
They did.
They still have some left over. There's talent there.
They had a lot. They lost a lot in the transfer. A lot of guys left out of there. Now, if they had what they had 2 years ago come in, they'd be fantastic.
I think
they don't have them.
Jeff Benton can add more. I think most of those. I think a lot of those kids were graduated now. Are they still? Who's still part of the program that was involved with that the terrible accident that the young lady got killed and.
Yeah, there's been others since then.
Is there kids still there? I thought there were seniors. I know that one that was involved. He's gone to the NFL.
Yeah.
Because he had a pro day.
Jordan,
there's been others. There's been others that have been caught for excessive speed and stuff like that. I don't know what else you do for it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the gambling thing,
They start suspending their butts.
Start suspending it, probably.
Yeah.
You gotta. If it's starting to become an issue, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Every year I hear about a college football player getting stopped doing 130.
Well, here's the thing that's going to come along with this, and what I just mentioned a while ago, Birge, get ready. Because if Georgia does win this again, I know because you follow football just in general. Everything Bama done, if Saban farted on the left side of the cushion,
yeah, I know.
There's allegations coming. And
there were issues with somebody one year, and everybody was all over Saban because there was no suspension. They're handling it internally. That's the same kind of thing that Kirby's saying now. We're handling it internally.
Those are things that come along when you're number one and you're winning. You're on the news. You got the guy at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, your own paper guy, and he's writing garbage, writing bad stuff, about the rape charges or allegations. But that comes along when you're the man. That's the kind of stuff's going to come along. Even if y'all just losing the SEC title, as the year goes on, prepared Georgia fans, be prepared for everything to come out. All kind of stuff, even if it ain't true. You'll think it is for a day or two, and you'll find out it probably wouldn't. It's just part of being the man. And when you're the Kirby knows, he worked at Bama when they were on those runs, and he's good at handling it. He knows how to handle this stuff. He's been through it.
Yeah. And I've noticed, now I'm not saying that's what it means, but handling it internally to outside people means you're not doing anything.
And
I
I
agree.
don't think that's
I
true.
understand that, but who cares? It ain't their decision, right?
Well, I mean, that's just what people think. Well, they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
That means they're not going to do anything.
You don't know.
We don't know.
Kirby Smart's not easy probably to get alive.
I mean, those guys may be running stadiums and puking 4 times a day. We don't know.
Right. That's what the outside layman person that never put on a helmet or ever hit a ball or done anything but look at a telescope or something. What's nothing wrong with telescope workers? We need telescope. We need those people.
We're going to talk about that next week.
Next week, Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about Area 151 and Planet X right here on the Matt and Todd Show.
You going to join us, Benton?
I'm out on that.
Special guest.
Come on.
But that's going to be part of it. So that's going to be half to what Georgia has to deal with.
Yeah, but that's just.
It's what happens. But you don't know. Like you just said, dude, they may be running until they throw up. Or they may be getting on lifts. They may have to do more lifts for the week. They may have to put in more. He may add time to their study hall.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. You don't know. You don't know. If he says internally handling it, we don't know.
Well, and the last thing I'll say, it'll be the last thing I say pretty much. This gambling has to, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to get in the pool. It's probably fun to get on DraftKings, but they're just going to have to quit that. I mean, they are hammering them. It's just going to have to stop. They're just going to have to.
Well, that's what they're doing.
I'm not doing this no more. In fact, till Benton said, till I'm done playing college football.
Yeah, they're suspending guys.
I mean, left and right.
Last little small topic here. There's just some early games. So, guys, we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. We've been on for a little over an hour and a half. Usually about normal when Birge comes on. We all get to talk a lot, and we like him coming on because it's fun.
I got one more local thing to add, too.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And it involves the SEC and Ole Miss, which we mentioned earlier. Jamias Griffin, Rome running back, a graduate transfer from Oregon State. Just signed on with Ole Miss. This about 2 days ago.
I thought he was going to be Oregon State's back.
No, sir. He early in the fall, there was some kind of, I don't know what happened there, and he is transferred to Ole Miss.
There was talk that he was going to be their feature back.
I don't know.
I mean, at one time, at one point, talking about Oregon State, he did good.
The rumor was he wasn't. I mean, people know. I don't know. Rumor was he wasn't at the top of the depth chart, and he wasn't happy about it. But that could be a lie. So I don't know.
He had He had 400 or 500 yards last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a good back, pretty good size guy too.
Yeah, well, maybe that'll work out for him. I
mean, you do have one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah, I know, but Kiffin will run 2 backs.
Yeah.
That other guy that played for him last year, that other running back besides Junkins had 700 or 800 yards.
Yeah. Keep him fresh.
I'm excited about Junkins.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're not interrupting.
Early games.
You're part of this, just like we are. We enjoy that stuff. You're not interrupting at all. This is just some stuff just to get through early games, guys. Y'all like college football? August the 26th in Dublin, Ireland. I remember talking about this last year. Navy's going to play Notre Dame.
That's not a bad matchup.
No,
I don't think.
Looks like they're going to play at 1:30 on NBC and Peacock.
It's not a dud game anyway.
Says that at Sam Hartman in the Fighting Irish uniforms after the veteran quarterback and the ACC's all-time record holder in touchdown passes transferred to Notre Dame to play behind one of college football's best lines and alongside some of the game's better running backs too. 1:30 NBC and Peacock. Thursday night, August 31st. Guys, this is only like 3 weeks away.
No, I know.
Yeah, this is coming up.
The first matchup went to the Gators to open last season, but the terms and the teams that went into the opposite directions after that. Florida finished 6-7 and lost its quarterback to the NFL, while the Utah went on to win the Pac-12 and return some of their vital pieces, including star quarterback
Cam Rising.
He is back again.
Valhalla Rising.
Utah is an 8-point favorite.
Okay, favored by 8. Utah looks to be in position to avenge that loss and to take a big early step towards what would be its third straight Pac-12 titles. They need to win it because there's no more Pac-12.
No more Pac-12. Yeah,
that game is at 7:00, August the 31st, 7:00 on ESPN. Okay, now that Saturday, September 2nd, the team that people have blowed up YouTube. This team has turned YouTube upside down.
Oh, God.
Coach Prime will be at TCU. Our first look at the Buffaloes under the leadership of Coach Deion Sanders, who made the biggest splash of the offseason by leaving Jackson State to rebuild the Colorado program, which he has overhauled with a tidal wave of outgoing and incoming transfer portals. I think he was almost up to 55. September the 2nd, that game will be happening Saturday. And 2 more here, North Carolina and South Carolina. Drake May is back for the Tar Heels as a consensus top 10 quarterback in college football. We were really high on him last year. We're excited to play him this year. He'll be in the top 5 guy. And Spencer Rattler, he has the name. He had a good game against Tennessee. I think that was a flash in the pan. I don't look for them to be great. But UNC has questions defensively, and after losing their offensive coordinator Longo, while USC's South Carolina saw some prominent transfers depart, including their tight end Bell and the edge rusher Birge. This game, North Carolina, the Battle of the Carolinas, the Tar Heels, and the Gamecocks, 6:30 on ABC. Now, this last one here, early game preview, the UTSA, which
Texas San Antonio, right?
Tim Brando, he's watching right now. Tim, how you doing?
They're good.
Tim Brando says this team is going to surprise. Don't be surprised
if they upset.
If they beat Houston game 1. It's going to be a revenge game. Remember, didn't they?
I've never kept up with UTSA, but I do know they have a good squad.
They went to overtime last year with Houston. And I'm pretty sure that Tennessee has at UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are calling.
They do.
Be careful. Some people are saying it's a be careful game for Tennessee Vols.
I don't think they're just a dump game. You know what I mean?
This coach, whoever he is.
I had a coach from Chattooga tell me, and this is the other day, he told me that there was no way possible that Colorado does anything this year.
I don't agree.
I got a question about Colorado. Do they even have
a smart coach now? He said, no way. 3-9, 4-8. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Do they even have a full roster?
Yes. Yeah, they have 109, 111 players.
Now, they did not knock them from here on out. They just said this first year. They said, it's going to take some time. He's just going to go in there and turn that around. I don't know.
I look for him.
I can't say the coach on here, but you probably know who it is, Ben.
I look for him.
I know of
older gentleman. Knows his football.
I think they win 5 games. But, that's not bad. They won 1 game last year.
Well, no, he said they'd be better than that. But he said we was lying to ourselves if we thought they were going to burn it up. Talk about anybody's lying to themselves.
Here's UTSA. They open at Houston, and they have Texas State Bobcats. They play Army. They're at Tennessee. Okay, that may be different.
Yeah, but that's not just Tennessee will win that, but it may not be 73-6.
No, it won't be. Temple, UAB, they play at Atlantic. And Halloween weekend, they got East Carolina's good. I always brag on them.
They've always got a good team.
I never pick against them in a bowl game.
Very good.
First start in November, UTSA will be at North Texas, and they play Rice, USF, and they're at Tulsa. And the American Championship game will be, I'm sure they'll be in Saturday, December the 2nd. But right out of the gate here, I'm going to see what that score was. Because they played, I'm pretty sure it was an overtime game. And Houston, are they not good?
Yes, Houston's very good. Very. What is that?
Yeah, they lost 37-35 in 3 overtimes.
I've heard they've got a good program.
So anyway, that's
and they've come out of nowhere because they were not a few years ago.
So I guess that's about all we got for this week. Show 199. It's about wrapped up in the books. And next week we'll be back for show 200. And we'll be kicking around some local ball.
Yeah. It's
You
time
have
for
any
that.
preseason next week?
Because the next week there'll be about time for that.
Yeah.
By next Sunday, a lot of teams will be playing jamborees the next week.
Yeah. We'll start talking teams around here, kind of who they're going to have. We don't pick games. We don't pick us kids games.
No, we're smarter than that.
I just don't. I don't see the point in it. I don't like to pick games.
We don't want to go out to the Piggly Wiggly and be like, "What? I dare you! What are you doing in here?"
Yeah, I don't. We'll talk about who's going to be.
We do pick games over on our side, but yeah, I mean, we're looking for everybody to be good, to be positive about everybody. So
Yeah. We don't say anything bad about teams on here.
No,
we don't either.
We've done 199 shows and we hadn't said anything bad about a high school team yet.
Our kid, our coach. I'm just not going to do it. That's not what we're here to do. It just ain't. There's no point in it.
No.
It don't help. We're just trying to promote some kids. We do college football mostly, but we're going to go to local games and we're going to talk about the kids around here. And then I'm going to take some pictures. And if I don't find my battery for my camera, I don't know where it's at.
Really?
I thought I set it on the table here.
It'll turn up.
I lost mine not too long ago and they turned up. So yours will turn up.
Yeah.
Be $12, so I don't.
Ain't no telling where it is, but it'll turn up.
I usually set it over there with the Cedar Bluff with Marcus's old helmet. I used to put it over there. I put it back here.
Y'all ever dropped anything and it rolled 4 miles away from you?
Yes.
That's what.
Dropped my can of snuff one day at work.
Yeah, and it's across the street.
Back there, one's up in the bathroom.
So y'all still have another week before any of the preseason stuff starts? And
Yes. The jamboree stuff starts the 17th and 18th.
Okay.
And then there'll be a lot of teams playing that next week, which will be the 25th.
Man.
But now several teams are not starting until, I don't know if it's most. It's probably 50-50. A lot of teams aren't starting until the 1st.
So I'll be at Rock Martin Rome Thursday night and then Chattooga at Ridgeland on Friday night next week. So we got double dip.
Piedmont's at 5.
See, that's a jamboree.
The 25th. Then they will host Turkey County the 1st. Spring Garden will be at Sandrock start.
That's a real game.
That's a game, the 25th. So August 25th, Cedar Bluff is not at home until September the 15th. They host Galesville.
Cedar Bluff plays like on the road the first 3 weeks.
3 weeks. They go to Winterboro, Sandrock, and Woodville.
So was there a change in the off season of like when the season started and all that?
If you don't do a spring, you can play a week early.
Right.
Or you can start a week early, and I don't know, Benton, but a lot of them start August 25th and have a open week, and a lot of them start September the 1st and have no open week, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just know that last year, model opened up with Cherokee County, and then this year, because of scheduling somehow or another, they couldn't.
Y'all went back earlier, right? Y'all start the 19th, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There'll be teams in Georgia with 2 games played before center even starts.
Yeah. Spring Garden's going to be at Ohatchee the 17th for a jamboree. And Coach Willingham, Ernie and Bunch, they'll have Pleasant Valley at home the 25th also. And the Napster, they're going to play a jamboree at Brindley Mountain on I guess it's the 25th. It's the 17th too, because the 25th, they'll be at West End.
Look at his first 3 games. God, he's got an easy schedule.
West End, Collinsville, Coosa Christian, Cedar Bluff, Appalachian.
He may have the toughest schedule in the state. I told him I was going to come on here and talk about how easy his schedule was.
West End, Collinsville, Coosa Christian.
Wow, that's 2 ranked teams.
I don't know. I mean, those 3 teams.
And West End's supposed to be as good as they've been in
a
years.
Long time. All 3 of those teams are going to be in the playoffs.
And then the 4th team's a rival, then Appalachian's loaded.
They're going to be in the playoffs. Yeah. Victory Christian, they're okay. At Woodville, they know, they've got a new coach this year. Then he plays Idle. Then he goes to Decatur Heritage and the returning 1A region, 7 champs at Valley Head.
Yeah, he's got it tough. Then he plays TCC last. I was joking with him the other day and said, cancel that and schedule Hanley.
They might as well.
Hanley won it. Huh?
Last time I watched Hanley, they had a running back and a tight end that was just a stud.
Oh, he went to Clemson.
Did he? Okay.
I mean, their running back from this past year did.
Yeah. What was his
you may
name?
be talking. I think he's
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, Benton. I'll get with you on that. I think he's a Haynes.
I'll pull up.
It's not the Haynes, obviously. I think he's a Haynes.
Okay.
Haynes.
I think the 5 Maplesville game, the 13th, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it was an early game that's not going to happen. And then Cherokee County, the 17th, they got Scottsboro. And the 25th, they'll host Alexandria. So
For real.
So that's kind of 6A team. This will be 4A versus 6A.
Yeah. It's getting started. About 2 more weeks here in Alabama. You got the Jamboree stuff, but, that's
17th.
Usually just a half.
Yep.
But the real stuff starts the 25th.
Cedar Bluff will have one. They're going to play.
So 2 weeks from Friday.
Boaz? Well, no.
Sardis.
Section.
No, section.
Section. They'll play a half against them, which we went over there and seen them play a little bit one day. And Spring Garden had some scrimmage. I seen that some of the, I don't know, somebody took pictures over there from Average Joe's. I don't know if it was Deidre or who it was. Excuse me. So football's coming, and pads are getting put on, and sometimes when you stand just the right way, you can feel a little bit of cool sometimes in the morning when you're up early about daylight like I am.
About 1:30.
About daylight, there's some cool in the air. You can tell, and it winds up getting hotter, and it's not going to be terrible this week. I think we're through the 105 days because that warehouse work I'm doing is not favorable for a fat boy to be in a warehouse when it's 105 outside and there's no air in the warehouse. It's hot.
That's tough.
Yeah. So I think those are kind of worked through us. And like I said, if you stand just right and not hold your arm up and you close one eye and stick your tongue out, you can feel the cool air at night if you go outside right now. So we're excited, Birge. We're ready for look. What's your first gig you're going to be at?
Regular season games?
Yeah.
I will be first regular season game is Stuga's visiting Lafayette. I'll be up in Lafayette.
Okay.
I'll go with Juju in that, by the way. I like Juju.
Oh, yeah. He's
too much talent around him.
What's up, Coach Short? Hope you're doing okay. We've been thinking about you and praying for you. Hope everything's, well, it's not okay, but, and I know I've seen some pictures and stuff. Coach Short's been out to some fields, went back to the old home field for himself, and where he spent so many years. And John, Mr. Holder's been out to places. They're getting pictures and interviewing people, and we're starting to buzz around this week. Probably starting Monday. After work, I get in about 3:00. I'll start because now we're going to be high practice in the evenings.
Yeah, the morning stuff's over with.
Yeah, so I can be normal. I can come in from work and change my shoes and
try to spies
and bob out to. I can ride over to Galesville. I can call here and see Coach Kelly, or ride up to the Rock, or I can come from work and drive about. I'm 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes from Spring Garden School. Right over there. I just go up there and turn by the store, just right there. So I can bop in there and go see Coach Ragsdale and the bunch, and Chaz and Connor and people, and it's getting that time of year. I'm ready. I'm ready to get off here. We got to get up early.
Yeah, got practice in the morning.
We got stuff.
We play Thursday, Benton, middle school.
Oh, do you? Where you at?
Lafayette, but it's a scrimmage. I mean, it's a, what do you call it? Jamboree.
I got you.
Half and half.
How's that going?
Well, we've only practiced 6 times, so.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
So you don't know yet?
I don't really know. No.
Just throw it deep every time.
Hit 4 in middle school.
You got any studs?
A lot of these guys haven't played much.
Okay.
See, we lost Baldwin and Mitchell, and Aiden Fletcher and that bunch. So
I think Baldwin's at the Hoon now.
He went to Calhoun. We lost a lot of guys. We've got a lot of new faces. But, you never know. It's like you were talking about with Georgia's D-line, Alabama's quarterbacks. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? When they get in competition, they may flourish, But they don't have a lot of experience.
I got you. No offense to the middle school team, but I'll probably still be at Rome for.
No, I was just telling you. No, I was just telling you.
I'm going to catch some of the games though. I want to come. I want to come catch some of the games.
Yeah.
Maybe even film them. I'm sure that would.
I got Cotton. Cotton.
I think I know. I think I know who you're talking about.
Abe Veach. Some of them guys.
Yeah,
they're tough.
I know. Yeah.
But like I said, just not a lot of middle school playing experience. They played football their whole life. But,
yeah.
Will you
shoot me your schedule and I will come check it out.
All right.
Yeah, get over here and catch a game with us when you can, and we're going to try to come in and see a Rockmart or a Calhoun. We're going to try to make one of those games because there's a week or two over here where like everybody's out of town.
Yeah, literally.
I think we were talking about the Calhoun Cedartown. I thought it was going to be a week that you might.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we can that week. He can. I don't know.
Okay.
But there was a week where there's like nobody around here.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I write for the Post and announce, but there's a week that nobody's here.
Mm-mm. I think like that week, Gales was the only home team.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 1 week where I think Cherokee County's only home team.
Right.
And like they're playing New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to win that one.
Yeah.
They should win that game.
Right. Should. Yeah.
I pulled up Calhoun's schedule just to see what date that was. And I'm just looking down the list and I'm like, good grief. It's a kind of a gauntlet in Georgia. Blessed Trinity.
Uh-oh. You blinked out on us.
Me?
Yes. As soon as you said Blessed Trinity, it went off.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I wasn't even noticing that I wasn't talking anymore. Anyway.
Yeah. Guys, we appreciate you coming hanging out with us. It's always a good time here with the Birge. Find him on Twitter at @BBirge. Facebook, YouTube, Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show. Him and Lawrence do a good job with that. Any kind of, preseason and pick'ems, just type in Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show on YouTube. And they've got a bunch of shows up. I fell in over there the other night. We watched one of you guys talking about some stuff, and it's good stuff. You want good info. You want to know who's going to be who's who. If you want to know who's who, and really just Georgia in general, but really North Georgia, this is where you need to be. High school football, Georgia. This is where you need to be at. Go find them on YouTube and on Twitter. They got big following on Twitter.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to get on board Al Smith and the Alpha Insurance
Alpha
Agency.
Insurance.
This last week, and we're going to have the Al Smith Alpha Insurance Friday night scoreboard for everybody on Friday nights. And glad that he's on board. It's going to be a good partnership, I think.
Yeah, you just get to run in from the games and just jump in and do some game. We kicked that around, that idea of doing that, but I don't know. Sometimes it'd be hard to do. And if I can't, I'm the kind of person, if I can't commit to it to do it every week, I won't do it at all.
Well, here's what we've told all of them is we will be home eventually if we're on a road game. But my farthest road game is Temple, and I can have Lawrence kick it off. He'll be in a local game. He can kick it off, and I can join when I get back. But have you ever done the Twitter Spaces? I know you have.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
we're gonna fire off this year doing Twitter Spaces at halftime and giving like halftime updates and stuff. I think that'll be.
Let's give it a shot, man. You never know. I mean, if you don't, then it's recorded and people can go back and if they want to hear a halftime score, just try to advertise for it. Make sure you're putting it out there. Hey, halftime. Here's the game, our Friday night game of the week, and let them know that you're going to be doing it.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. We'll get on Twitter and try to collect some scores.
Yeah, Twitter's there's so many people. We had like 6,000 people watch the Rush Probst interview.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that, man. I heard that was a good one.
Huge. I've never seen so many people. I mean, it was like 12 or 1,500 on YouTube, which is good. Facebook had over 1,000. So there was about 2,000 between YouTube and Facebook, but Twitter, it was like I could go back. It went over 6,000 like a day or two later.
Yep.
It was crazy because I tagged Rush in it, and he sat down and did no interviews with nobody. We were the only person in the state he sat down and talked to. Because Mark, he trusted Mark to come in here, and we're appreciative for that. We had a good time talking to Rush. Just history of football.
He didn't talk about nothing.
We didn't want to. We didn't want to talk about what had happened. That's past, and what it is, it is. I'm just interested in his.
Yeah, he told us a lot of stuff.
I
mean, just about his, background coaching.
And
I mentioned you guys to somebody off in Northeast Georgia not too long ago, and they brought up the Rush Probst interview.
See,
there you go.
You Googled Rush Probst for 2 or 3 weeks. Our video came up for 2 or 3 weeks. Now it don't, because he's done some more interviews and he's done some radio shows and he's been at Pell City for a while now. So we're appreciative for Rush and Coach O'Brien coming hanging out with us. That's gonna do it, man. Let's get off here.
I gotta go get something to eat, Mr. Birge.
All right, we'll see y'all. I gotta get up at 4:30.
All right, sir.
All right, enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Come back and see us. Stay in touch. And there's the Birge. Guys, we appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out with us. And don't forget to hit the darn subscribe button. It's not very hard. All you do, Dean, how you do it?
You just hit the button.
Twitter Spaces, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We appreciate y'all. He'll keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God. And we'll see you back next week for show 200.
200. That's a big number.
Let's get it. Y'all have a great week.